Hello, I'm Paul Dordanu. I'm the co-founder of Pulse Technologies. The Pulse Technologies group has two companies, one based in USA called Pulse Technologies Research LLC, and the other company is based in Europe, more specifically in Romania. It's called Bioenergetics and Pulse Technologies. In both companies, I am the co-founder. The other co-founder is Mr. Jimmy Holman, which I have met almost 20 years ago, and almost since there I'm working with him, and for almost 10 years we are partners in this Pulse Technologies Corporation. Well, before somebody wants to go to a session, he needs to, and I think this is the most important, that he shouldn't be tired, because stressing the body before and during the session can accumulate with different forms. For example, there are many toxins that are liberated into the body when running a session. So your body has to be relaxed. It doesn't have to be stressed. You don't have to be tired when you go into a session, because after the session what is important to do is to allow the body the enough time to go through what we call the detox process. That means the body needs to eliminate the toxins from your body. It will not happen immediately, but what you might feel after a session is that you can be tired, you can be exhausted from the amount of toxins that are liberated in your body. So what we recommend, at least, to have a small period of time when you give some rest to your body to allow it to recover itself, to eliminate the toxin, and drink lots of water. Drinking lots of water is the most important thing before and after a session, because that facilitates the detoxification process. In our library, our software comes with a library of frequencies. There are actually several libraries. One is the public library that can be found out there on the internet. It's called CAFL. It stands for Connotated Annotated Frequency List. We provide it in two formats. One format is the standard, as the original one, and the second format is one where we have actually transformed all of the frequencies from low frequencies, which are within hundreds and thousands of hertz, into higher frequencies, which are in the range above 40,000 hertz. And why? Is because the higher frequencies are more efficient than low frequencies. So this protocol library has about over 1,500,000 entries. When I say entries, different bacteria, different viruses, different disease, different affections. So we're not only limited to this disease that you find there, but just are a starting point. Of course, we have our own library that we are developing and we're distributing separated from the software. And this new library basically is dedicated for the most of the important issues that people have. And we have about several dozen of those protocols ready that basically we have had confirmation that those are having a great effect on people. People's feedback on those protocols is great. The main places where you could place the contact pads, what we call them electrodes, are usually the most accessible parts of your body, like the arms, the shoulders, the back, on the feet, just all the most common places. But you can place the electrodes basically anywhere you want, and sometimes it's better to place the electrodes around the affected areas. Sometimes and this is what we recommend as well, to try to place the electrodes on the meridian points from acupuncture. We know very well that those points conduct electricity very well directly to certain organs in your body. So you should place the electrodes on those points. It doesn't matter how you place the electrodes, because there is no positive and negative electrode. You can combine them anyway. And also what is important is to, if you, for example, want to cover as much part of your body for the electricity to go through your entire body, you have to place, for example, an electrode on your left arm, wrist, and the other electrode on your right leg. And then on the next session, you can invert the placement of the electrodes, like on the right arm and on the left leg. This ensures that the electric current will flow entirely to your body and try to, interact, the frequencies to interact with most of your organs, most of your cells of your blood in your body. If you have a localized issue like an infection, tooth infection, for example, you can place the electrodes, back on the shoulder, on the arm and on the shoulder, either on the side where the infection is. So for most of the times, the most common places where you put the electrodes are, the ones that, are convenient for you, where it's easy for you, and sometimes you have to place them where it's needed. And this is up to you to determine where are the electrodes best placement. There are quite a few frequencies that can help the body in many different ways, not only in a destructive, from the destructive consideration, as in we are used to have frequencies that destroy a bacteria, destroy a virus, but there are frequencies that can literally help the body function properly, energize the cells, energize different organs of the body. So yes, there are frequencies that can help with quitting smoking, or quit drinking, or even quit, if you're addicted to drugs, there are frequencies that can help you with this. Those frequencies are not specifically identified for that reason, but they help a lot. Like, for example, 10,000, 40,000 are 40,000 hertz are one of the frequencies that basically help you a lot, help your body function properly. So basically your body will interpret smoking, will interpret drinking, drugs, it's something that will harm you. So basically it will start rejecting those. It will reject the smoke that you inhale, it will reject the alcohol that you drink, it will inject the drugs that you're taking. So slowly you basically can quit smoking, for example, by just running those frequencies. And we have a special protocol that is called organ support. You will find it in the software as being support HF, but in reality it is called organ support. So this protocol has all of those frequencies that actually can, help your body function properly, better, and your body will basically tell you, it'll command you at one point, stop drinking, stop smoking, stop taking drugs. The ICS, which stands for imprintable coiled silver, basically is a solution that is obtained from displacing silver electrodes into the water by using special frequencies and waveforms. The protocol that we have, and it's available in the software, it's called CS generation, from colloidal silver generation. It's basically, there are two frequencies in there with special waveforms that we have identified that will produce the best concentration of colloidal silver. It makes about 50 parts per million of colloidal silver particles. So this is a safe concentration to be used, but what is more important than the concentration itself is the size of the particles that are being generated. If it's being used with distilled water, it's important to use distilled water when generating colloidal silver, because that will ensure the small size of the particles. The particles have to be very, very small in size, because this way they will be able to, penetrate the body, the blood, and get to the important cells. So basically, the colloidal silver solution is a very efficient antibacterial and against many diseases. Can be helpful, and also can be energized. Also, a very important aspect of the water and colloidal silver solution is that it can be imprinted with frequencies. Now, water stores a certain amount of energy, and it has even its own memory information that it carries along. So if we, for example, after we run the CS generation, which lasts for an hour, we imprint other frequencies. By imprinting, I mean by running other sessions into the, while we have the colloidal silver connected. Basically, this will allow us to imprint, store frequencies, store information into the water that has silver in it. So by drinking, for example, this solution, this water with silver and frequencies imprinted, basically that will help deliver some of the frequency of the information to what we are targeting for, and this will increase the process of healing, will increase the process of getting rid of the problems we have. Yes, there are frequencies that can help with these issues. Well, this is not, let's understand that the frequencies will not entirely do this for you. After all, this is self-control matter, after all. But we have developed frequencies that can, help with your brain, help with your body function properly. So basically the frequency will help your body, and the body will take care of itself, of these issues. And there are some other, there are some other frequencies where you can use, for example, to use brain state waves. Okay, those frequencies are very, very low frequencies, like within hertz, a few hertz, 5, 10 hertz. Those frequencies matches the brain waves and the state of the brain. So when we apply those frequencies, basically we help our body relax. We help our body to learn how to relax. Basically, that's what the device is doing. It stimulates the brain to relax. If we don't cooperate with with what we want to do, we won't be able to get to the result. It's not enough for only the device to, to apply the frequencies. Will not get relaxed only by applying the frequency. The person that's doing this has to basically work together with the device, understand what they want to obtain, and reach for that goal. Okay, so by doing this, your brain can get relaxed or get in a state where basically can get rid of those issues that we call sometimes mental issues, like being afraid of something, and many other brain-related issues. But there are some more serious brain issues, for example, people that have suffered accidents and their brain was damaged. There are some certain frequencies that can actually help with this. For this, we have developed a protocol that is called Body, Mind, and Spirit protocol, and those frequencies basically help with the brain from many different aspects that can get rid of mind problems, but also can get rid of some more deep problems that a person might have. Depends on what happens after the session. Physical training basically solicitates your body. You can look at this from two perspectives. On the good side, basically working out is healthy. Doing physical training is healthy. And also working out basically generates the body to dissipate water. And this is a good thing because through the skin we eliminate water and also toxins. That's why some people are going to sauna, because sauna is the same thing. It's basically stimulating the body to eliminate water through the skin, and also lots of toxin that we have through the skin. So this is a good thing, but it's important for everyone to self-evaluate after a session, because after a session, and if you have some effects from that session, and those effects can be, you get tired, you get some dizziness, you get a headache, these kind of symptoms, those are good symptoms. Why I say good? Because that means there are some frequencies that have worked and caused an effect in your body, and the effect was that you actually started to killing some of the bacteria of the viruses you are targeting, and what is left from destroying them are toxins. So those toxins have to be eliminated. If somebody after a session is very tired, very weak, doing a training will over solicitate the body. So in that case we don't recommend. But if, for example, after a session you feel fine, you don't have any issue, you don't feel tired, you can actually go and take a run or do some sport that will solicitate your body. But it's important that you don't over solicitate your body, neither by applying frequencies. If you see it's working, don't overdo it, and as well with any training, physical exercise, don't overdo it. If you're already exhausted, don't do any physical training, because your body needs time to relax, to recover, to regenerate, and to eliminate the toxins. Eliminating the toxin is basically a soliciting process for the body. So it needs not only rest, it needs water. That's why it's important also not to run the device at night, because you have to be in control and evaluate yourself all the time what is happening. Running the device at night is something we don't actually recommend, because at night is the best time for the body to regenerate, for cell regeneration, for energizing. So that's why it's good to do any kind of session several hours, 2-3 hours at least before bedtime, because during those 2-3 hours it will give the proper time for the body to respond to the amount of toxins that have been eliminated into the blood and to the body, and to allow it to start the detoxification process. And again, drinking lots of water is important for this. So, short answer, it's not dangerous, but don't overdo it, don't overstress your body. Well, those frequencies that can be found in Ninna's book, and not only in Ninna's book, any other source that is providing frequencies for different disease, different bacteria, viruses, pathogens, you name it. Those frequencies can be easily added into the software. There's a button called Add Frequency, and you can add easily any frequency either by just typing in it, or if you get it in electronic format, you can just copy and paste into that form and click add. It's a very simple process. Within a few clicks you can add some frequencies into your session and start using it. We have quite a few products that we manufacture and sell. For all of the devices, the basic product, the product that it is used to control the other devices, is the device which is called PFG2Z device. So for anything you want to do, you have to start with a PFG2Z. If you don't want to get a plasma system that basically offers you, wireless, no contact. Basically, it's a no contact device because you have the plasma bulb that's radiating the energy field that's being created. So you don't want to get directly to that. The starter is the PFG2Z, because if you have a PFG2Z, you can run sessions that through the electrodes, through the pads. You apply the pads on your body and you run. So this is the starting point for anything you want to do. Later on, you can add a plasma at any time. The P3 is the device that actually connects to the PFG2Z. So the PFG2Z is the frequency generator, and the plasma basically is the one that generates the plasma, the energy field. Or we have other devices like the colloidal silver. The colloidal silver is an accessory to be used with the PFG2Z. So if you want to do something, go through a session, through a treatment with colloidal silver, you have to have a PFG2Z along with the colloidal silver to be able to do this. The products that Pulse Technologies has developed are basically capable of going from very low frequencies, from close to 0 hertz, up to several hundreds or millions of hertz. More specifically, the PFG, which is the frequency generator, is capable of generating frequencies from 0 up to 10 million hertz. Well, for many of us, 10 million hertz is a frequency that we will never use. Most of us we will use frequencies from a few thousand hertz up to several tens of thousands of hertz, or even hundreds of thousands of hertz. Getting into the millions of hertz is something that we not necessarily we recommend, because when you get into the millions of hertz, we're starting to talk about some other effects, some of them not desired to happen to your body, like for instance RF generation that is happening within millions of hertz. So our recommendation is to stay below millions of hertz, stay within tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of hertz, which is the let's say, the spectrum for where the most of the real frequencies for most of the disease, most of the bacteria, of the viruses is. So from tens of thousands of hertz up to hundreds of thousands of hertz. That's why our latest plasma tube that we have developed basically can go from very low frequencies, even some frequencies a little bit over 0 hertz, up to frequencies up to 600,000 hertz. Basically, we don't want to go even higher because we have no reason to do so. What we have at the moment is enough, and people should start using higher frequencies than lower frequencies. So if you see somebody using frequencies within millions of hertz, try to understand that those frequencies are not necessarily that good for the system, for your system, for the body, especially that we consider that, and if we understand that we are working with harmonics. So when you start with a very low frequency like 1000 hertz, it's not that frequency that does the work, is efficient, but one of its harmonics like 40,000. The same if you start with one big frequency and you see it's working, it has an effect like 10 million hertz. It's not that frequency that actually has an effect, but one of its subharmonics, which can be 100,000 hertz. So you see, as you start, you go into this mid-range, which is tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of hertz. Okay, so what is happening when you start going, especially when you start going into millions of hertz, is that the waveform starts to change. Basically, we know that we have to use the square wave. Why square wave? Because square wave generates lots of harmonics. But as you start going into very high frequencies, especially into the millions of hertz, that waveform, which is a square wave, basically starts losing its property. It's not a real square wave anymore. And as you go higher into the frequency range, that square wave is basically a sine wave. A sine wave basically has almost no harmonics. So that's why it's important to work with lower numbers. This is something that basically any device out there, any frequency generation, even the most professional ones, when you start going into millions of hertz, the waveform basically starts losing its shape, and what you get only is a sine wave. We're happy to be partners with HER World Company based in Kuwait. This partnership with this company in Kuwait and in Middle East, I think it's a very beneficial partnership between those two companies because it offers us, possibilities, opportunities that in other parts of the world it's hard for us to go and do this kind of research, information exchange that we are capable of doing it here. So we are very happy to be here in Kuwait. This is our second trip at this conference, and the people we have met over here are gorgeous. They're very open-minded people. It's a pleasure for us to work with them, and I think for the future both companies, and not only the companies, will benefit greatly from this partnership.